tonight is not about vilification of any people or any particular group. It's not about 2020 hindsight, the genius that comes with that. It's not about making castigations of the decisions people made at different times. It's about the here and now. It's about looking forward. So the questions that were put to me to present to you is, why is the reporting of actual or suspected cases of child sexual abuse to the authorities so important? How were actual or suspected cases of child sex abuse investigated, and how was the confidentiality of victims protected? Why should the authorities care about actual or suspected cases of child sexual abuse from 20 years ago? What can we do as a community to create a protective environment for our children? We're looking to give the appropriate support and encouragement for victims, witnesses and their families to come forward. And hopefully, through the course of the evening, people will understand the importance of confronting the issue, have an appreciation of how the investigation process works, understand how confidentiality is preserved and upheld, and know where victims, witnesses and their families can get requisite support and counselling. There are matters before the court. We all know that. It's sub judice. We won't be discussing any of those issues tonight. And before I invite Sergeant Scott Wells to address us, I'd like to welcome Robertson Telsner as well. And there are many other important members here tonight, but we can't single out everybody. So without any further ado, Sergeant Wells, thank you.
Thank you, Danny. I'd like to thank you all for coming to listen to us tonight. I must say that over the last 10 or so weeks I've learned a lot about the community itself. I will state again, as Danny stated, there are matters before the court. I will state very clearly that I'm not here to talk about any of those matters. It's very important that we do not discuss any of those matters at all, in any way, shape or form, or in any way that may touch upon them, as they will be sub judice. I certainly don't want to have any influence on any investigation or matter before a court that may cause any person any difficulty. So I ask you to respect that. And any questions after I'm finished speaking, if you could please address what I have spoken about in particular, which will be the investigation process and the manner in which matters are reported to police and how we go about investigating them, essentially. So I'll thank you for that in advance. I'll touch upon all the 4 points that Danny has raised in a very general way. However, as I said, what I will be here to speak about tonight in particular is the reporting of offences of reported or actual or suspected cases of sexual assault against children. There are a number of ways that matters of sexual assault against children can be reported to the police, or how they come to our attention. Firstly is anonymously. We can receive notifications via telephone to a police station or via Crime Stoppers in relation to a person who is believed to be a victim of a sexual assault. We also receive, and I'll leave the ladies from the Department of Human Services to speak about their role, but also receive direct notifications from Child Protection. And we also receive people who come in and report the matter directly to police over the counter at a police station or through 000 for urgent and immediate matters. When a matter is reported to us, the first and foremost thing we do is determine the best course of action for speaking to a victim or a potential victim. In the instance where we receive anonymous information, we have to make an assessment of that information and to make a determination of how best to approach the victim or potential victim. We make that determination generally in consultation with the Department of Human Services Child Protection to determine whether the matter should be approached to the victim together or by Child Protection alone, or depending upon the nature of the report, or depending upon the age of the person and the family situation that they're in, whether it is a matter for the police alone. In a matter where a person reports the incident over the counter to a police station, or when police attend at a home address, to speak to that person, we will speak to that person with a person that they feel comfortable with and safe with. We have to ensure that the parents and the family unit are being protective, and we have to make determinations as to whether we speak to the child with the family unit or whether we use other practices. Once we have what we term as a disclosure, where someone has disclosed, a child has disclosed a criminal offence to us, we then make a determination as to the best way to obtain a statement. Most of the time, the best way to obtain a statement from that person is to conduct it in a video recorded facility where free narrative is used to speak to the child, to elicit from them in their own words and the way that they would best tell it how an offence or an alleged offence has occurred. We have to take into consideration certain things like timeframes from when an offence is alleged to have occurred. If an offence has occurred allegedly in the last 72 hours, we have to take into consideration medical procedures where essentially the victim is a crime scene. We have to take into consideration the age of the child, the mental state of the child, the emotional state of the child, and also the likelihood of obtaining any forensic evidence from a medical examination. A medical examination has to be consented to. So if a medical examination is not consented to, then we'll rely upon evidence that we may locate at any crime scene, if it is recent, or evidence in the form of statements from family members and from any other witnesses that may have been present at the time. We have to take into consideration the family members who will have to provide, if the matter is to proceed, will have to provide statements in relation to the age of the child, because the age in particular is something that's very pertinent in relation to certain offences. And again, another very important witness that is not often discussed is the witness or the evidence of recent complaint, where a person, in particular a child, has reported to a family member or a friend or a trusted person or a member of the police force or any person that they have been offended against and the type of offence that has occurred against them, then that evidence can be given to a court and will be taken as some weight towards proving that the offence has occurred. The recentness of that complaint, as in the period of time between the alleged offending and the complaint is being made, is very pertinent. However, with a child, it is, the time frame is not necessarily as important as it is for an adult. I'll leave Mary to speak about the CASA role. We have a very close working relationship with CASA. Upon the report of a crime, we make a referral to CASA, and we have a requirement that within, was it 2 hours, Jonathan? We have to have the matter referred to CASA. When if a person consents to a medical examination, or in the child's case, the parents as well, we, particularly here, the child will be conveyed to Monash Medical Centre, to SCASA, where we introduce counsellors. We have a paediatric forensic medical officer conduct an examination of the child, which is, I'll be honest, it is intrusive. Again, as I stated, the age of the child must be considered, and also the mental and physical state of the child, and the determination as to whether there's going to be a positive outcome as a result of the medical examination must be considered as well.